The ATF is going around picking people up for muzzle devices now. And today we're going to talk about this from the perspective of a firearms expert. And I'm about to submit my CV.
Chris is here. He's one of our leading experts.
I absolutely loathe the term expert. If you ever see somebody call themselves an expert, run from that person immediately. At least in this context, Stevie Boy presented him as an expert, so that's the proper usage of an expert is somebody else conveys to you expert status. You don't give it to yourself. I prefer the term firearms professional, which obviously this guy is not either, but that's beside the point. So what I want to talk about today is actually one of two stories I'm going to be doing today. This one, the ATF is picking people up for muzzle devices. And while this isn't necessarily breaking news, I think that there is an important aspect to address here because I think that the ATF absolutely got this one wrong. That and more after we hear a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by XS Sights. They are my preferred source for tritium night sights, as well as several other products that they make that are just fantastically executed. Highly, highly recommended. I've been using them for almost a decade now. Today begins their Memorial Day sale. It runs from today until next, I think, Friday, maybe? Yeah, Friday, May 31st. So 24th through the 31st. 25% off site-wide. Go get it. Brightest sights in any light. Background information is the brand is Lethal Eye, and there are three models in question that the ATF has taken issue with and issued notifications about. The 74, the 79, and the 99, and I'll have those up on the screen for you. There are a couple things to address here. First of all, these, as far as we know, were not the subject of a raid. As in the ATF didn't go and get a customer list or anything like that. So that means that more than most likely, they requisition the credit card records of people who purchased these things online and then sent them letters. So if you haven't received a letter yet, then be checking your mailbox, I suppose. If you receive those, or if you have one of those, it is my suggestion as a non-attorney that you contact a competent firearms attorney immediately and figure out what to do with it, because you can't even technically destroy the thing. However, the reason I'm really making this video today is to say that as a firearms professional that has worked in this space for over a decade now and has had experience with over 100 suppressor designs, the ATF got this absolutely 100% unequivocally wrong. Those are not suppressor cores. This is a suppressor core. Just like somebody who doesn't have all of the information might call this a cup, upon further inspection and a reveal of more information about the subject, you would actually call that a beaker. So an ignorant person might call those things suppressor cores, but they are not suppressor cores. All of those items have one thing in common, or the lack of something in common that precludes them from being suppressor cores, and that is there is not an attachment method. Every single suppressor core that I have ever handled, and I've probably, not every suppressor that I've ever tested or held is a monocore suppressor, so I would say maybe 30%, maybe 40% of the cans that I have touched and the hundreds or so cans that I've touched have been monocore and or some kind of core and have had an attachment method for that core. You can't just drop the core inside of a tube. It will explode. Depending on the caliber, we're talking anywhere from 20,000 to 80,000 PSI inside that device. You can't just drop the thing. You can't even precision machine a tube to go around the thing. It will come apart, and it's dangerous to even consider doing something like that. It has to be fixed together, and there has to be an attachment point. Even if you were to, I guess, make a tube that had a bottom in it that you could screw around the top of the muzzle brake, it would not be concentrically bored, and the thing's going to disintegrate itself. The bottom line is this. Whoever it is made this determination is absolutely incompetent and has no business being around determinations of this nature whatsoever. And speaking directly to the United States government, you are opening yourself up to long-term, serious litigation liability by having incompetent people like this in place making these kind of decisions. So never fear, U.S. government, I've got a deal for you. Fire everyone at the department that makes these kind of determinations. You can send them all to me, and I will do the work for you, making determinations on whether these are or are not suppressors, are or not machine guns, are or not, whatever classification it is under the National Firearms Act. I will do this work for you for half the cost that you're currently spending on that entire department over there. It will be miraculous and magical. You don't even have to fire those people, I suppose. You can just reallocate them over to the massive quantity of paperwork associated with Form 4s and Form 1s. Right? You can streamline that process. We'll streamline the process over here determining what things are because obviously the people that you got working over there can't do their job. What you really need is somebody who knows what the heck they're looking at. Anyway, that's all for us here today on the VSO Gun Channel. I'll see you this afternoon with another video on a different topic.